let's talk about angles. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some terms, right, that I want you to remember, but we're going to look at the different types of angles, and we've talked a little bit about this, so this should not be completely new to you. But for instance, if we're looking at this first one right here, on the upper right, you're going to see that this little square indicates that it is a 90-degree angle. So if I write in 90 over here, this is called a right angle. All right. Below it, you'll see this is an acute angle. It is less than 90 degrees. Okay, so it is, let's put it like this, less than 90 degrees. And this is called an acute angle. All right, and then below that, you're going to see a angle that is greater than 90 degrees. Okay, so it's greater than 90 degrees. And that was our obtuse angle. Okay, and then below here, I'm going to show you one more. This is basically just a line. Okay, but it has an angle of 180 degrees. Okay, and that would be called a straight angle because it is on a straight line. All right. Now, next what I want to show you is how we label angles. Okay, so angles are labeled different ways, but generally we give them letters. And what we would say is, for instance, let's say that this is A, this is B right over here, okay, and say this is C up here. So this is, I'm showing you an angle in red, and how we would call this is angle A. Let's do this. Angle A, B, C, because I'm going from A to B to C, like that. I can also say C, B, A, and the one in the middle here, the B, this is called the vertex. Oops, I'm gonna do it in red. The vertex. That is the point where the two rays or lines or line segments where they meet. Okay, that's that little part where they meet. So that's always the center one there. All right, so we could have written it two different ways. We said angle ABC or angle CBA. All right. Well, let's look at some other ones. We've got a bunch of letters here, so let's keep going. Let's make this one D over here. Whoops. I'll do it in black as well. Okay. And this angle I showed in blue from here to here. So I'm looking at this angle that goes right here in blue. And we would label this one CBD or DBC. All right, either one is fine, but I'm going to say CBD. All right, and we're going to do that one in blue. So that is angle CBD. Now let's say that angle ABC is 45 degrees and angle CBD is 45 degrees. All right, and then angle yellow. Yellow is right here. And I showed that one as a 90 degree. So angle yellow would be A, B, D. You see, because I'm going A to B to D. I could go the opposite direction too, T, D, B, A. But remember, the vertex is always in the middle. All right. Well, that one I already know is equal to 90 degrees. That's awesome. Okay. And then I have one more angle here, which is in green, which we talked about earlier. That's this guy right here, and it goes basically from A to B to a new one. Let's do this one as E. Shoot, let's go black. E. All right, so it goes A to B to E. All right, well that's our, remember that was our straight angle, because that is going to be equal to 180. So let me draw angle, and we always draw our angles like this. We kind of put this little thing. It's close to the greater than or equal sign. Greater than or equal sign is like that. The angle, the bottom's always straight. So for an angle, the bottom's always straight. So angle A, B, E is equal to 180 degrees. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few other terms that we can get out of this. Now that we have this sort of framework of how to label different angles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a couple more different angles. So let's talk about this thing called adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are angles that are right next to each other. Okay, so in this case, our adjacent angles would be angle ABC and angle CBD. Okay, so they're next to each other. All right, we have something that's called, we have complementary. So complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. Okay? So, for instance, our adjacent angles that we looked at before, ABC and CBD, those, if we were to add these two up, we had a 45 degree and a 45 degree, they add up to 90, therefore they're complementary. All right, and then lastly we have supplementary. Supplementary angles, and those add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so that would be, for instance, in our case, that would be A, B, and D. And D, B, and E are supplementary, okay? Because they're both 90 degrees, which adds up to 180. Now, this will help you in finding missing angles. So, for instance, we didn't know what D, B, and E were, but we knew that A, B, and E was a straight line, so therefore, that equals 180. And we knew that this one was 90. So we're able to determine what that missing angle was. So this is all to help you find missing angles. All right, it's the way they work together. All right, so those are the main angles that I want you to know how they work, and the various vocabulary. So we got right angle, acute angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, adjacent angles, which adjacent angles are angles that are next to each other, two angles right next to each other. Right? Complementary angles, those ones equal 90. And the way I remember which one's complementary and supplementary, C is earlier in the alphabet, so I remember that it's 90. And S is later in the alphabet, so I know it's the bigger one. So it's 180. That's how I do that. Supplementary angles add up to 180. And then I want you to remember the vertex, which is the point in which the angle, it's like the angle corner. It's where those two rays, line segments, or lines meet. Okay, that is called the vertex.